From you user, I'm aiming this video primarily at small sellers from emerging markets that want to make their first steps exporting to the United States or Europe. I said at the beginning of the video that you need to know the market before you enter it. You've just got to do your homework before you start investing resources and time into building your online presence. I've seen too many sellers waste time on this, and I can't stress this point enough. So my objective for this video is for you to understand how to get the crucial market data. I want you to be able to answer questions like, is there a market for my product? What kind of price can I get for my product? I want you to understand the kind of tools that are out there to help you get this information. And we're going to do a deep dive on Terapeak, which is the market analysis tool on eBay. Let's dive right in with a demo. To make things practical, let's assume I'm an artisan based in Latin America and I'm looking to sell hammocks like this one to the United States. First, let me find Seller Hub on eBay. Next, I'll click on the Research tab here, which brings up Terapeak Product Research. I'm going to select the site I want to sell on. In this case, I'm interested in eBay.com. I'm also interested to see sales data not just for the last 7 days, but for the whole year. Let me search for hammock here. Yard, garden, and outdoor living looks like the right category. And let's take a minute to digest the information. The average selling price for a hammock was $51.68, although the cheapest was sold for only 99 cents and the most expensive was sold for almost $2,000. If we're selling hammocks, it looks like we're going to have to offer free shipping because almost all of the transactions had free shipping. So this already answers our key questions. Is there a market for our product? Yes, it's $5 million. What's the average price on the market? $51. But that's only one part of the equation. So we've established that there is demand for hammocks, but how big is the competition? It turns out it's quite a competitive space with over 6,000 sellers competing. To find out who my key competitors are, I can run through the list of top sold items down here. The list is organized by total items sold, so we can see that the most successful seller on eBay sold 1,300 hammocks for a total sales volume of $86,000. It just takes 2 clicks to find out who the seller is. In this case, it's a seller called Great Shopping Days that's based in China. Now, if I go back to my list and I continue scrolling down, I realize that most of these sellers have not much in common with me. Most of these sellers, unsurprisingly, are from the United States, but there are also many Chinese sellers. So how do I find out who my real competitors in the handmade space are? Let's assume that I'm based in Mexico and I want to see if there are more sellers from Mexico selling hammocks on eBay.com. I can simply scroll back up to the search field, and in seller locations, I'm going to select Mexico. Now, these are products that look much more similar to what I'm selling. And here are the sales statistics for Mexican hammock sellers on eBay. So let's find out what the overall market for handmade hammocks looks like. I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to select all seller locations, not just Mexico. And I'm going to type hammock handmade. And here are the stats for handmade hammocks sold on eBay. So the market opportunity for handmade hammocks is much smaller, but the competition is also much lower. And if we look at the first listing here, we can actually see that handmade hammocks from Mexico have a big market share in the handmade hammock space. So the bottom line is that if we want to be competitive in handmade hammocks from Mexico, the market price will be about $70 and we will have to be able to ship within about 6 days. So now let me add all this key competitor information in my Excel sheet. Competitor price is $69.99 and shipping is free 6-day shipping. I also usually grab a screenshot of the seasonality data. In this case, it shows us that right now in March, this is where the hammock season begins and it peaks out in about May. So this is a good time to start listing hammocks. I can find the seasonality data on Terapeak by clicking here on sales trends and by moving over here to the total sold per month. So what categories does Terapeak cover? Essentially, Terapeak covers all the main categories on eBay. And what are the main target markets? So where do our buyers sit? There are 21 target markets to choose from in theory. If we take our hammock example, it would be interesting to see what the demand is, for example, on eBay Australia. So if I search for that, I can find out that the opportunity is roughly $4 million, so it's smaller than the US market. But what's interesting is that the seasonality is inverted. The peak of summer in Australia is in December, so about 6 months after the US. So if you want to sell your hammocks all year around, you might want to consider eBay Australia. How does Terapeak work? Terapeak essentially looks at the data from the last year. So if we take our hammock example, we can see that basically there were 22,000 sold on eBay.com in this case. And we can see this data by day. So basically in May, when the sales peak, we have about 2,000 sales every day. Whereas in December, when the sales are lowest, we have about 200 sales. And of course, for each sold hammock, we know the price, which is compiled here in average sold price. And as you can see, the price moves up and down a little bit according to seasonality. And going back to the example of our handmade hammock, the average selling price across the year is about $63. There's an interesting peak here in October. It looks like someone bought a hammock for $600 there, which is kind of way above the average. So how much does Terapeak cost? The sellers that have been working with me get a free store subscription where Terapeak is included. If you don't have a store subscription on eBay, the cost is $90 a month. But if you feel like you cannot afford that fee, not even for 1 month, then reach out to me. My contact details are in the description below, and I'll see if I can help you. Also, I'll show you a trick at the end of the video to show you how you can get competitor data without having to pay a fee. So Terapeak also be useful if you sell on Amazon, Shopify. Yes, definitely. eBay is a very competitive marketplace. So if you can have a competitive price and succeed on eBay, you are very likely to succeed on the other platforms as well. Also, Terapeak looks at transactions worth $100 billion. That's a huge amount of data and definitely a good representation of the kind of demand and the kind of prices that you can get in a given market. So how do I get access to Terapeak? If you already have a seller account on eBay, just go to My eBay, Selling, then click on Research, and you'll find the Terapeak interface here. If you don't have an eBay account yet, you need to create one in order to be able to use Terapeak. You can find a video in the description below on how to create an eBay for Business account. Any business owner around the world can open an eBay for Business account. The only exception is for sellers from Cuba, North Korea, Iran, and Syria. Once you've created your eBay business account, go to My eBay here, click on Selling, then click on the Research tab here, and click on Subscribe Now. You can subscribe to Terapeak here for $19 a month with the possibility to end the subscription every month. Next, I'd like to explore a couple of alternatives to Terapeak, and I want to explain to you why I think that Terapeak is the best option if you're a small seller from an emerging country. I've taken some time to test the different tools on the market, and Terapeak really stands out as the one that provides you with the most granular data. Terapeak has data from sellers in over 200 countries, and it's the only tool I found that allows you to look in detail at the competition from your region, whether you're in Latin America, Africa, or Asia. I don't want to spend too much time on this overview. Let me just focus on the key points here, and I will be sharing this overview in the video description below. So essentially, for each key platform, there's a market analysis tool. For eBay, it's Terapeak. For Amazon, there's a tool called Opportunity Finder by Jungle Scout. And for Etsy, there is Marmalade. All of these tools generally charge a monthly subscription fee between $20 and $50. Unfortunately for us, the two most popular tools don't come with any free trials. Okay, as the final point here, let's look at some tricks that sellers use to get competitive insights without having to use a tool such as Terapeak. So I'm going back to my hammock example. I went on eBay.com and I searched for hammock handmade. This is going to show me all the listings on eBay for handmade hammocks. But it's not super useful because I only see the products listed on the platform, not the ones that sold. The good news is that eBay has a filter on the bottom left that allows me to look at sold items only. I'm gonna make sure I select the right category here. And by going through the list here, I can basically see two things. Number one, what is the price that these items are sold for? And we can pretty quickly see that the prices are, around the $60, $70 price point. This basically is the sales history for the past 3 months. Again, I have the possibility to filter by country of manufacturer. So I'm gonna select Mexico here to see the competitive listings from Mexico. And I can check out the seller profiles. Doesn't this look familiar? This is the same listing we found on Terapeak earlier. Alright, with this, let me quickly summarize the key points of video number 2. Number 1, do your homework before investing in your online store. You need to understand the demand and the average price of a product before you start investing time and resource. Number 2, there are several tools available for market analysis. Most of them specialize on one platform like Amazon or eBay or Etsy. These tools generally come with a subscription fee of between $20 and $50 per month. We found that eBay's tool called Terapeak is very relevant for sellers from emerging markets because we can analyze 200 countries and we can see the competitors in your country. Finally, if you're unable to afford $20 a month, you can use a feature on eBay search called sold items, or you can contact me and I'll try to find a way to let you try this for free. My contact details are below in the video description.